All right, so today we're going to be something like archaeologists of the mind. We're diving into this really fragmented but totally fascinating philosophical text to piece together a worldview. We're going to sift through all these scattered pieces to uncover a complete picture of existence. And let me tell you, it's a pretty bleak one.
And right from the jump, this text does not pull any punches. This quote just drops you, cold, into this world defined by hopelessness and internal horror. I mean, essence of hopelessness, do you taste it? That's our starting point, right there.
Okay, so how do we even begin to understand a world like this? Well, the first thing we've got to do is listen to the people, or the things, that live there. The first part of our journey here is meeting this, let's call it a chorus of monsters. Each one gives us a little peek into how this reality works. First up, we meet a character called Lord Hell. And this guy, he's the embodiment of absolute and, frankly, bored power. He's reached the infernal summit, right? He has all the money and control. And now what? There's no grand plan. All that's left for him is to just meddle. And that's the key, you see. Power here isn't for building anything. It's not for creating. It's just a toy. Lord Hell's perspective is that society is just a plaything, and the people at the top see everyone else as just something to mess with for fun. All right, next up in our monstrous lineup, Psyker. And what's so wild about this one is the sheer blatant hypocrisy. I mean, listen to this. They say their bravery comes from crushing those who can't fight back, but then wrap it all up in this noble idea of liberty. It's wow.
And that right there, that's a huge theme in this whole text. The mental gymnastics people do to justify their own cruelty. It's a world where might makes right, and all those fancy ideals are just window dressing for raw, brutal impulse.
Okay, so our next monster is a little different. This isn't about power or cruelty. This is pure philosophy. We meet Werecrab, and this voice starts to question the very nature of consciousness itself. And it throws out a really startling idea. Yeah, so get this. Instead of consciousness being this amazing gift, the peak of evolution, Werecrab calls it a sickness, a diseased state of existence. And you really got to pay attention here, because this isn't just some monster rambling. This idea, it's a core philosophical pillar of the entire worldview we're building. It sets the stage for everything that's coming.
All right, so we've heard from the monsters on the ground, right? We've gotten their raw, visceral take on things. Now, the text does something really interesting. It completely shifts gears. We zoom out from the emotional chaos to this calm, analytical perspective. A researcher who's trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
So this researcher, they're on a mission, you know. They want to understand where all this misery comes from. But right away, they tell us something fascinating. Finding a nice, tidy conclusion, well, that might be impossible. And maybe, just maybe, finding an answer was never really the point to begin with.
And as this investigation unfolds, the researcher starts to see a pattern. They realize that the fundamental structure of this universe isn't just one thing. Nope, it's a duality, a constant push and pull between two massive opposing forces.
And these two forces have names, chaos and the void. You can think of them like a yin and yang, but way more unsettling. These two concepts are the absolute foundation of this entire worldview. So, let's break them down.
Okay, first up is chaos. Imagine chaos as the cosmic static. It's the engine of randomness that just bubbles up out of nothing. It's what allows for all the messy, complicated, unpredictable stuff we call life. It's pure energy, pure potential, but it has no goal, no direction.
And on the other side, you have the void. This is the default setting of reality. It's the deep silence, the total emptiness, the absolute nothing that was there in the beginning and where everything's going to end up. It's the ultimate reality, but it's completely passive.
And this is where it all clicks together. The researcher's big conclusion is that life isn't purely chaos or purely void. It's some kind of corrupt merger of the two, a freak accident. It means life is fundamentally caught in the middle, trapped between being something and being nothing. It's broken from the very start.
So if life itself is this broken, contradictory thing, where does consciousness fit in? What's its job? And this, my friends, is where the whole thing gets incredibly dark.
Remember what Werecrab said about the mind being a sickness? Well, the researcher basically confirms it. Consciousness isn't a gift. It's a vile, shadowy creature. And why? Think about it. A rock can't suffer. A chair doesn't feel despair. Consciousness, in this worldview, is the tool that evolved for one specific, horrific purpose, to perceive how broken and awful everything is. It's the antenna that's perfectly tuned to the frequency of suffering.
Okay, we've got all the pieces on the table now. We've heard the testimony from the monsters, we have the researchers' analysis, the ideas of chaos and the void, and the twisted role of consciousness. It's time to put it all together. Let's lay out the final diagnosis of this worldview, step by step.
All right, let's run through it. Step 1. Life isn't a miracle. It's a cosmic accident, a messy fusion of random chaos and empty void. Step 2. Because of that messed up origin, existence itself is contradictory. It has no inherent purpose. It's just flawed. Step 3. Consciousness pops up, and its job? To feel how flawed everything is. And that leads to the final result. Step 4. The human experience, when you strip it all down, is a subjective hell. Or, as the text so grimly puts it, a dreary competition of horrors.
Wow. So, if that's the diagnosis, what's the cure? What are you supposed to do when you see the world this way, when all the illusions are gone? Well, the text leaves us with one last, really haunting thought on that.
The answer it gives isn't some grand call to action. It's not about fighting back or finding meaning. The only thing left to do, the only method you can use, is just to watch, to observe, not to change it, not to escape it, just to witness it.
And that's the question this whole thing leaves you with, isn't it? If existence really is just a competition of horrors, what's the point of just watching? Is there some hidden value in being a detached observer? Some kind of peace? Or is that just another layer of the nightmare? That's the unsettling idea this text wants you to sit with.